Hey friends, and welcome back. If you're new here, I'm Abigail, the Homeschool Hippie, and it's fantastic to have you. You are watching my Missouri homeschooling series where I talk all about the big things that you need to know as a new homeschooler or even an experienced homeschooler as a refresher in Missouri. I need to give a disclaimer that I am not a lawyer, I'm not a professional, I do not have a law degree, so if you need personalized advice that you feel like you do need a professional, please seek out HSLDA, the Homeschool Legal Defense Association. I recently did a video on them, and I will leave an iCard to the playlist as well as that video and links in the description box for you. I did want to also give credit for the information that I am pulling to put together in all of this series for you guys. I do pull from a lot of different resources, but some of those include FHE, Families for Home Education, MPE, Missouri Parent Educators, and HSLDA, the Homeschool Legal Defense Association. Down in the description box, there are lots of links to lots of things, lots of resources for you guys. Also, there's a link to my Ko-Fi. As many of you guys may know, if you are a subscriber here, I am not a monetized channel. And so the only way that I actually earn any income or gain money to put back into this channel by reviews and things like that is from Ko-Fi, and that link can be found in the description box below as well. Thank you for your support, and if you are new here, it would mean the world to me if you would hit the big red subscribe button and stick around. So we are going to jump in. I do have my notes on my phone like usual, and we are going to start breaking down the law, the actual law and what it says. And so I have lots of notes. I will be doing lots of quoting. You guys forgive me for this lengthy staring at my phone in this video. But to start off, we are going to talk about what is RSMO. RSMO is the Revised Statutes of Missouri. This is what is known as our laws that regulate our state. So when you guys hear RSMO, that is meaning that I am talking about the statute or the actual law as written in Missouri. Your laws in different states could be written completely different, and I thank you so much for checking out this video if you are not from Missouri and you are just curious about our laws. But I do encourage you, if you are looking for laws in your state, please go check out HSLDA. They have laws listed for every state. And then some of the information you do have to be a member to access, but the basic laws are pretty much written out for you. The specific RSMO that regulates homeschooling in Missouri actually is not titled Home Education. It is under the Compulsory Attendance RSMO, which is 167.031. Now, that's really important because it's kind of tucked away in there, and this is why it's so important and why we have lobbyists in our capital, is because even our home education law in the broad spectrum isn't under its own law. It's snuck into a different one. And so that's a great example of how laws can be tricky, and they can be not specifically for home educators, but they can affect us. And so as we dive into the laws, please keep that in mind. There are a couple other ones other than the RSMO 167.031. But this is the main law, and this is where we're going to start. So RSMO 0.031, I'm quoting directly from section 1. Every parent, guardian, and other person in this state having charge, control, or custody of a child not enrolled in a public, private, parish school or full-time equivalent attendance in a combination of such schools, and between the ages of 7 and the compulsory attendance age for the district, is responsible for enrolling the child in a program of academic instruction which complies with subsection 2 of this section. This seems like a lot of information altogether, but really the reality of it is very simple. It states that any child the age of 7 or older by the 1st of July must follow the compulsory attendance requirements for the state of Missouri. Now, I did pull the July 1st from further down in the law, and we will get to that, but for ease, I wanted to go ahead and combine it into here so that you knew this is specifically talking about children who are 7 or older by July 1st. Additionally, it says that these attendance requirements can be met by any school choice that you choose. So this could be public or private, or it could be home education. And you as the parent have the right to choose that as long as you meet the compulsory attendance requirements. Also, I know that a lot of people have this question, and I have this question. My son turns 7 in September. And so my question initially as I began homeschool research, and I get this a lot from new homeschool families, is my child turns 7 in the middle of the year. Do I have to start tracking when my child turns 7? So for instance, my child turned 7 in September. So did I need to start following the compulsory attendance requirements on his birthday, or was I free for another year? And so basically this is in plain black and white. The rule is 7 by July 1st. So if your child turns 7 anytime after July 1st for that year, then you don't have to keep records. So if your child's birthday is in September or November or January, you don't have to keep records. If your child's birthday is July 2nd, no records. If your child's birthday is July 1st, you must keep records. If your child's birthday is June 30th, you must keep records. So 7 by July 1st of that school year. I know that that's a big question, and we get that all the time. My husband and I are huge in home education and spreading the truth versus misinformation, and that's a question that I know personally even I had, and I know it gets asked a lot. So I wanted to be sure that I took time to fully answer that question. July 1st or before, yes, records. July 1st or after, you get to wait a year. So, quoting RSMO 167.031 further, any parent, guardian, or other person who enrolls a child between the ages of 5 and 7 in a public school program of academic instruction shall cause such child to attend the academic program on a regular basis according to the section. Non-attendance by such child shall cause such parent or guardian or other responsible person to be in violation of the provisions of section 167.061 except as provided by further in this section. So, again, I know that reading the law can be really tricky, but I want to make sure that you guys are getting the law and then you guys are getting kind of a broken down version. So, this section is simply saying, if you enroll your child in public school before they are the age of 7, or a private school, basically if your child attends school before the age of 7, they must now meet the compulsory attendance requirements for the duration of their academic career. If you enroll your child in kindergarten at age 5, you then have to further for the rest of forever, as long as they're bound by the compulsory attendance requirements, you have to keep records. Your child must stay in school unless they meet certain exemptions. It's really important to know that because my oldest 2 kids attended public school. And so now that they're in home education, I still have to keep track of their hours and things, even though my oldest just turned 7 this year. So that's pretty important because I wouldn't have to start keeping records until next year because, like I said, his birthday's in September. So this would be the first year I would have to keep records if he had never been in public school. But because he attended public school, I had to start keeping records from the moment I pulled him out of public education. Additionally, from what I have been taught in all the law classes that I have been to, all of the groups that I am a part of, everything like that, if you start logging your child's hours before they turn 7 by July 1st, you then have started keeping records, your child has started receiving formal education, and so then you're required to continue to keep keeping records. You're required to continue logging. So the best policy, as I've been told, is that if your child is not 7 and they've never been in public school, don't start keeping records because then you're required to keep records. And that can get very overwhelming, especially if you have just a pre-K or a kindergarten kiddo. Meeting these requirements can become extremely overwhelming and daunting, and that just, I feel like that causes anxiety in new homeschoolers, and it kind of can set some families up for failure if they feel like they don't meet those requirements when really they weren't required to meet them to start with. So just be cautious of that. If you're keeping formal records, you may be required to continue keeping them if you were to be asked about them, if that makes sense. It's kind of just know the law, know that you're not required to before they're 7 on July 1st, and know your ground that you can stand and say, I'm not required to keep these records because my child has not met the compulsory attendance requirements, and therefore I'm not required to, and I haven't. That's always the best policy and always the best answer at that time if you were to be confronted. Quoting again from RSMO 167.031, a parent or guardian or other person in this state having charge, control, or custody of a child between the ages of 7 years and the compulsory attendance age for the district shall cause the child to attend regularly some public, private, parish, homeschool, or combination of such schools not less than the entire school term of the child which attends, except that 1. A child who, to the satisfaction of the superintendent of public schools of the district in which the child resides, or if there is no superintendent, the chief school officer is determined to be mentally or physically incapacitated, may be excused from attendance at school for the full time required in any part thereof. 2. A child between 14 years of age and the compulsory attendance age for the district may be excused from attendance at school for the full time required or any part thereof by the superintendent of public schools of the district, or if there is none, then by a court of competent jurisdiction when legal employment has been attained by the child and found to be desirable, and after the parents or guardian of the child have been advised of the pending action. Or 3. A child between 5 and 7 years of age shall be excused from attendance at school if a parent, guardian, or any other person having charge, control, or custody of the child makes a written request to the child to be dropped off of the school's rolls. So these are the exemptions that basically forego the compulsory attendance requirements. Now, I will tell you, I personally have no experience with these exemptions. So my best advice is if you feel like you meet one of these exemptions, I think I've maybe seen a couple of people that have their kids in the 5 to 7, so they could possibly meet exemption 3. My best advice to you is contact HSLDA. Pay for your membership and ask them to help guide you and find out if you do meet those requirements, and if you do meet those requirements, how to go about getting them approved by the school district. So again, these are exemptions, these are special circumstances, and I really cannot guide you in those. The best policy is to truly just contact HSLDA. So that is going to wrap up this video. I know that there was a lot of information given, so I want to do a little recap here. 1. Any child over the age of 7 by July 1st must meet compulsory attendance requirements. 2. Any child who between the ages of 5 and 7 was enrolled in any type of formal education must continue to meet the compulsory attendance requirements for the term. 3. There are special exceptions, and if you think you meet a special exception, you should contact HSLDA for more information. Thank you guys for watching. Thank you so much for being here and supporting my videos and supporting my content. I truly do appreciate all of it. In the next video, we are going to be diving further into the law. That will be up on Thursday, hopefully. I know that I missed an entire week. Our family has been very ill, but we are feeling much better now. And with this beautiful spring weather, hopefully the colds will stay away. With that, I'm going to wish you a wonderful week, and we will catch you on Thursday. Peace, love, and we'll see you in the next one.